So you saw Evil Genius 2's out now on Steam and you wanted to take over the world. Then you realised you had to be pretty evil to go about it and you felt bad. We feel that. Here's 7 heinous acts that, truth be told, still play on our minds. Hello there and welcome to the channel. The clue's in the title really, isn't it? Evil Genius 2. Not mischief-making genius, not basically alright but goes a bit too far with the banter sometimes. You just have to get to know them, genius. The evil geniuses in Evil Genius 2 are evil. The Simplified layer building sim is a counterpoint to all those games that have you playing the part of someone virtuous, because there's no nice way to go about building a superweapon and then holding the world to ransom, is there? And look, it's cathartic to let yourself go, sorry Max, and indulge the lighter side of the dark side. Still, and I don't know whether it's just me, but there have been moments along the way to World Domination that still play on my mind. Moments that tipped over from breakfast DJ prank level hijinks to just a bit mean, really. If you feel the same, or maybe if you haven't played Evil Genius 2 yet and you're wondering just how Bond villainy you get to be, this one's for you. Here are 7 heinous acts we feel a bit bad about, actually. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications to get all our new stuff hassle-free. Now then, on with the show.
Evil minds think alike.
I like to start winding down with a herbal tea and a good book an hour or so before I hit the hay. Then I'll pop in some earplugs and put on an eye mask and listen to a podcast about something slow and soothing. By contrast, the minions in my lair start their bedtime routine by working to the point of exhaustion, then dragging themselves into a barracks where dozens of other people sleep in bunk beds, trying to drown out the sound of a room full of radio repeaters and people constantly walking in and out of the room. Then after about 3 hours, it's immediately back to work. I mean, there's being a maniacal supervillain, and then there's just plain inconsiderate. Yes, Red Ivan's cavalier use of a rocket launcher is probably a bit nastier in the grand scheme, but you can really feel the minion's sleep situation because it's so relatable. We all feel the pain of sleep deprivation, and that makes it extra evil to impose it on your employees. Number 2 on our list of acts of evil geniusness that we actually feel a bit bad about happens in this room. I mean, very few good things are going to happen in a room whose sole components are holding cells and an interrogation chair, but as ever, it's the specifics that really get under the skin. Here's how it works. To unlock new minion types, you need to kidnap them from locations across the globe, bring them back to your lair, and interrogate them. So far, so evil. And most of the time you can square it away in your conscience. I mean, mercenaries were probably out there shooting and that before you got to them. Even scientists could conceivably have been up to some menacing equations or something. But a valet, I mean, alright, they give you a harsh stare if you stiff them on a tip, but is it really enough to justify this? It's not just that they're being tickled, and it's not just that they die. It's that they're being tickled until they die. If I'm ever in that situation, just give me a bullet instead.
Interrogation successful.
Yeah, well, I just spotted it on teletext really, and I thought, you know what, me and the missus haven't been away for a while. Might be nice. Change of scenery, you know. I did spot the odd 1-star review on TripAdvisor, people saying, oh, the island's tiny and there's nothing there but a casino and there are people being killed constantly. But I thought, you know, you always get one, don't you? And for the price, it seemed mad not to. Anyway, now I'm here, it doesn't seem so bad. Nice weather. I reckon we'll both go back with a tan, won't we, love? Love? She can't hear me, she's over at the roulette wheel. Already 300 quid down, but you can't tell her, can you? I mean, the accommodation's not up to much, really. We've been sleeping out on the jetty most nights, but it makes a Oh my god! Oh, he's killed him! Oh, the bodies! The bodies everywhere! Help me, it's like a rocket launcher! Oh my god! Oh, help me! Oh my god, help me!
Yeah, every one of these tourists is going back with PTSD. Sorry about that, you lot.
A scheme has succeeded.
Hiding away in an island lair and kidnapping scientists from the world stage to construct a superweapon powerful enough to bring the world to its knees is naughty, but doing so without a second thought for adequate fire evacuation procedure is evil. Particularly when you consider that in my first playthrough, when, hand on heart, I hadn't fully embraced the finer points of base security, fires broke out in the generator and control rooms roughly 5 times every second. We've got a red alert mode for making sure nobody has our gold away, sure, but who's the fire steward around here and where's your special vest? Where's the assembly point? What's the quickest route out of here? And what happens if the power goes down while these giant doors are closed? It's an insurance underwriter's nightmare, and there's no excuse for it, however villainous you're feeling. Even Blofeld probably had a few fire blankets dotted about.
All fires have been extinguished.
Like all the best managers, I take a pretty white gloves approach when it comes to the specifics, like where all those gold bullion are coming from. But when you stop and actually look at what you're doing on the world stage, it turns out that some of these acts are really rather disquieting. Stealing pulleys and things from a hospital to cause a distraction. Posing as renovators and then nicking a stained glass window from a church piece by piece. Boiling all the milk in the world to create a cheese shortage. This one hits me especially hard, love a dollop of Dolce Latte. This stuff, well, it's all quite evil, isn't it? This one takes the biscuit though. A fool and his honey. Sent out into the world never to return to the lair, one particularly entrepreneurial minion has taken up beekeeping and become pretty good at it. Their honey's pretty popular too, so, well, what do? You go in and take over the whole operation. Despicable you. Here's one from my own playthrough again, and I hope it hasn't happened to many of you out there. I'd spotted a bunch of investigators stalking the halls, and I thought I'd show leniency like any great leader, so I only marked them for capture rather than termination. I know, pretty decent of me. But then I completely forgot about it, and I went back to looking at something on the world map for quite a while, until Iris alerted me that a prisoner had escaped. Before I'd even located them back at the lair though, she chirped up again to let me know they'd been recaptured. Cool, I thought, no bother, back to the world stage. But then I heard the same announcement again, they'd escaped. And before I could locate them, the poor investigator had been immediately recaptured again and slapped back in the cell. This went on for quite some time. Because if you leave people in holding cells for a while, they will eventually find a way to break out. Really, you only need them for long enough to assign someone to interrogate them. But I had no such plans for this poor prisoner, so they entered a heartbreaking cycle of breaking free and then immediately being re-imprisoned until, sick of the announcements from Iris, I made sure they couldn't escape again. We're saving the most flagrantly evil, dastardly, real bad egg behaviour here for last. And yes, I do mean you, Maximilian. Some bosses might book paintballing days as a means of motivating their workforce, bringing them together with a fun activity that carries only a slight chance of permanent sight damage. Or a Christmas bonus, things like that. Max sees it differently. Why pay a third party to lease their paint-flinging projectiles to put the wind up your employees when you've got a perfectly good loaded revolver sitting in your pocket? It's a wanton waste of resources. And look, this is all a roundabout way of saying that walking up and executing minions is a really good way of getting their loyalty back up. And it's a tactic that I've called upon more than once. It's just that there's no way to feel good about it, even if the minion in question has been standing around in the mess hall for actual days instead of researching that pivotal scientific breakthrough you've been hollering at them to do. Actually, in that particular scenario, I feel basically fine with it.
Let's have a talk. One final talk.
Here we are then, 7 acts of rampant nastiness that make us want to shower the evil off. How have you disgusted yourself so far in Evil Genius 2? Let us know in the comments below, and once again remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more like this. If you'll excuse me, I've got an emergency meeting with my lair's health and safety advisor. Should be fun. Catch you in the next one.
Release. They will fall before they know what hit them.